It is hardly possible to escape the conclusion that when man decided he had a moral right to exploit animals, he quite inevitably opened the door to a new and man-made form of suffering, much of which ends only in one form of slaughterhouse or another. There is, however, yet another aspect which arises from this question of exploitation, and it is an aspect which by no means receives the attention it deserves. I refer to the aspect by which man harms himself. When there is interaction between two or more entities, the effects of the interaction are not confined to one entity only, but each is in the same way affected. What then is the effect upon man of the interaction which he has created between himself and the animals? The effect upon man cannot differ as to its essential nature from the nature of the interaction itself. That is perhaps a rather complicated way of saying something which was said much more simply long ago. As we sow, we reap. What do we sow? Well, what do we do to the animals? We breed them in millions in order to slaughter them for food. We exploit their sex functions in order to make them yield milk. We then take the baby calf from their mother so that we, and not them, may have the milk. Often we then kill the baby calf and we eat him as veal. When their mother is worn out as a result of one unnatural pregnancy after another, we kill her too, and we eat her as beef. We hunt animals for fun, we vivisect them, we castrate and harness them. What kind of relationship can it be whose symbols include the whip and the bit and the harness and the slaughterer's knife? If these are the things we sow, then these too are the things we reap. The form in which our harvest comes to us outwardly may be seen in some of our diseases, in much of our imperfect health, and possible also in some of the violence between man and man. But the form in which our harvest comes to us inwardly can be nothing less than a restraint upon our own spiritual evolution, for just as a balloon is prevented from rising so long as it is pinned to the earth by its cable or the weight of its ballast, so also is the soul of a man held down by the chains and the ballast, which constitute the demands of his own lower nature. This aspect of the relationship between man and the animals is one which requires more thought perhaps than some of the more obvious aspects, but I believe it is one of the most serious of all the varying results of living accordingly to the doctrine of exploitation.